as people start realizing that even today, you can put a price on the damage that climate change is doing. You go down to Miami, and when it's flooding at high tide on a sunny day, and fish are swimming through the middle of the streets, there's a cost to that.
I've been there and never seen the fish. Well, President Obama got lots of face time at the recent Paris climate talks, got the makeup right, had some nice words, but in the end he spouted forth plenty of platitudes and nothing of any substance that will really ever get done. Something does need to be done. The Earth is not going to clean itself. Witness the air quality disaster that is China. So let's attack this from some logic and void of scare tactics, shall we? The group is called CFACT, Washington, D.C. based, seeking to present sound science in the climate arena. They are headed to Paris to premiere their new documentary, Climate Hustle. And our guest is the man who publishes the CFACT findings at climatedepot.com. Let's welcome Marc Morano to the Hardline. Marc, thanks so much for being here. And let's start right out with the film itself. What sets this film apart and makes it different from all the others?
Well, that's a great question, Ed. And the answer is comedy. I want people to go see this film and laugh and be entertained and also be informed. And actually, some of the early reviews back are people are laughing and talking about how funny it is. We use the global warmers activists' own statements for humor. We have Ted Turner in here, the founder of CNN, warning that if we don't act on global warming, we'll all be cannibals and be eating each other, and we'll be all like a failed state of Somalia. We're getting actual laughter out of people. We have a whole section on tipping points about how we must act or it's too late. And we literally go through, we show you decades they have tipping points. We have months, years, minutes, hours, and even now. I mean, every possible time frame they've warned us we must act or it's too late, and every time we miss the deadline, they just scratch it out and put a new deadline on. So we have a lot of humor in this film, but it's also a very serious film.
When you talk about people being that desperate, all of a sudden I think of fans of the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns, but I digress for just a moment here. Let's go ahead and talk about what some people have said, and you noted the experts, and there's a lot of them out there, Marc. Do we not, though, have to realize, just say that, look, the climate is changing, but stop blaming man for everything on this. The Earth has a big part in this. How am I doing so far?
You're doing great. Here's the bottom line. I mean, climate is governed by quite literally hundreds of factors. And CO2 is but one of them. The problem is the United Nations Science Panel was set up to just examine CO2's influence. And they have a political agenda, not scientific. They actually stated their goal is to redistribute wealth by climate policy. The UN Climate Panel, that's the actual vice chair's comment. So what they've tried to do is they're trying to tweak one variable out of these hundreds that affect Earth's climate, carbon dioxide, and then they're trying to, which is at the margins because nature produces more than mankind of CO2, and then they're trying to say by tweaking this one variable, we're going to have a 2°C limit, 50 to 100 years from now, and they have all these scenarios. The bottom line is man does have an impact on climate through land use, through a whole bunch of things, and yes, CO2 can warm the atmosphere, but quite literally the scientists we're talking about that are reviewing the evidence, mankind's impact is not even distinguishable from natural variability. We know that because temperature is not unprecedented. We know that because storminess, floods, hurricanes, droughts, tornadoes are either on nose trend or actual declining trends. And yes, even droughts with California, it's still on a declining trend over 60 years. So we know nothing unprecedented is going on, and we also know that in the Earth's history, CO2 has been many times higher. We've had ice ages, and CO2 has been many, many times higher than that, and we've had temperatures similar to today. CO2 is not the control knob. That is the key.
Okay, I got about 60 seconds left, so without giving away the plot of the movie, which we already have done in a little bit, and everybody knows what we're talking about in the first place here, what can we do, though, Marc? Look, the planet is getting dirtier. What's going on in China right now is ridiculous. The people there could be dropping dead from the air. So in 60 seconds, what is it that we need to do that's sensible, logical, and allows man to at least have a hand in helping to clean the planet?
Well, first of all, we have to pry apart the bastardization of science. Carbon dioxide is not what's happening in China. Carbon dioxide is not causing smog. It's not causing pollution. Carbon dioxide is a trace essential gas in the atmosphere. We as humans inhale oxygen, exhale CO2. So China's problem is not carbon dioxide. China's problem is similar to what the United States had in the 1880s, 1890s, rapid industrialization, which is just through the roof, one coal plant a month, and they're just not, with no pollution controls. They need technology. They need more industrialization, as perverse as that sounds, in order to get through this, like the United States. In 1970, we had a lot of major pollution problems. In the last 40 years, we've radically improved our air and water quality while growing our population and increasing economic growth. Technology is the way to go. You don't put limits on carbon dioxide, which is actually plant food, and the earth is actually greening because of it, and there's no correlation. It's not the control knob of the climate.
I do have to tell you this, flying into New York City anymore, I don't see the big brown haze that I used to see as a kid when I flew in all the time.
Right.
So there is something to be said about that. Learn more about the movie. Go to climatehustle.com. Stop being hustled. Get some facts. Let Marc Morano and his group go ahead and take care of it. Marc, we want to thank you so much for joining us. I hope we get a chance to talk
Thank
again.
you, Ed.
Stay with us. The fastest 60 minutes of news, The Hard Line, continues.